Hello, everyone. I am going live, those of you out in the live world. And unfortunately, I can only do certain platforms on my restreams, so I will be looking at my TikTok audience on one side and the rest of the world somewhere else. So, pretty cool. I had one of my memes go viral. That's a neat thing. So thank you, everybody who helped out with that. And it was about the thank you, everyone, including the live person. Definitely want to thank everyone for helping that go viral, because I've got a lot more views. And really, I know people are like looking for TikTok views. I'm just looking to, there's someone in my house. I'm just looking to get some information out to the world. There's a crack in the world, in the universe, somehow appeared. So what else is happening? So let's talk a little bit about a couple things. Behind me, you might see on TikTok a Persian bas relief. It is a carving. We can probably find out the proper name to that. That is from the Tang Te Chang? No, that's Chinese. Sorry. This is a Persian artifact, and it is an example of steganography. And so those of you that are joining, what is steganography? Steganography is the art of concealing information in art. So if you're following along on the channel, you'll see that the ancients, or maybe even the Tridactyls themselves, have concealed the images of the beings in art. And there's all different kinds of steganography. Sometimes it's really simple and it's just a hybrid image. So a hybrid image would be two images. Arguably, this is a hybrid image also with this steganography. But this steganography has a particular motif that I call the brilliance motif. Now, I got to share this picture on the channel also, because I want people to be able to see what we are talking about in X World. So thanks again, TikTok people. We have a Persian bas relief behind us. I'll refer to the name shortly. This is a brilliance motif. So the brilliance motif requires you to squint. I know it sounds silly. It sounds like BS. But those of you that are familiar with certain types of optical illusions, and again, this is perspective anamorphosis. So that means the steganography, the concealed information, is dependent on the perspective of the viewer. Not too different than maybe one of those magic eye posters. So at Bayon Temple in Cambodia, the perspective relies on angle and distance. For these motifs, which I find very frequent in early Buddhist imagery, is this brilliance motif that requires you to squint. So let's see if we can find that actual picture for people. So I don't know if it's going to work with my Force Ghost in the way here. So let's share this at the very least here. So any questions out there? I see a lot of people joining. And again, thanks for the Mount Rushmore. If the Mount Rushmore, of course, requires another form of perspective anamorphosis, which is you have to be aware of the tridactyl beings. You have to be aware that they are living things, or were living things, that maybe they still are. And I see you have to believe in them. It's sort of that, clap your hands and make believe, and it'll work for you. How's everybody doing out there? You are welcome to interact with me on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and X, where I, let's see, let me show a screen here, where I am able to interact verbal chats with you. So I'm showing on my, I should probably show you the next picture too. So what else can we say about this picture? So I'm asking you guys to squint, and we have to figure out what it is first. I need to find out the actual name of this specifically. So it's Tang-e Chogan, first relief of Bahram II. Okay, this is Iranian or a Persian artifact. So what happens with this one, notice that big sort of canyon they cut across this piece. It almost seems like damaging, right? To put that piece in there, but that's part of the steganography. As you squint on this piece, and let's see if we can find out a little bit more about this link to help everybody here. A nice Wikipedia article would be helpful, right? Wikipedia. So to give it another name here. So it's Tange Chogan, Chogan, but it's actually part of something called Kazarun here. So you're going to have to find that picture, or you're going to have to go to one of my other sites for now. Ideally, I'll be able to stream the actual show with the actual graphics to TikTok in the future. But to let those of you know, by squinting, those of you maybe see it on TikTok clearly, I even hate to tell you. Anybody watching, let me give you the link for this here. Maybe I can just share it that way. Well, it's Wikipedia, and it's Kazarun, Kazeroun. So again, easier probably for the people on TikTok to see. Not TikTok, and X. I'm getting all my things confused. Hey. Any questions about Mount Rushmore? Let me know. Those faces. Again, there's a lot of people saying, I can't see it. I'm sorry. Usually what I like to do is, as you can see the picture behind me, I post it first with just no Photoshop. Now, I believe the lower left-hand corner actually shows an evolution of non-human beings. Now, those of you that are familiar with the phenomenon, or you could look this one up, look up the insectoids, and the insectoids from the Alien Project. Now, I have to confess, that name is very hyperbolic. They are not insects. They're part of the Tridactyl family. And so let's go ahead. I'm going to change the background. Let's see if I can do that if I can do it in the middle of, maybe I can't. I don't know if I can change the background in the middle of hosting. Let's see. Background. But this featuring blah, blah, blah. I would check. I have all these requirements since I joined, I don't know if it's letting me change the background right now. Okay, so we'll have to save that one for another post. In the lower left-hand corner, though, I believe it shows an evolution of the tridactyl beings. You'll see a serpentine being on the far left. I believe that is the insectoid. Now, if you squint your eyes also, there is a tridactyl being where the egg is coming from. So you should be able to see the egg. That should be not too hard of anything to see. And you'll see the egg is depicted with a face, which you'll see, I believe, in Dogu of Japan. You'll see they'll use that motif. Maybe, I think the Taino will put faces in the eggs. Very cute, very cute. So I don't know if the beings are like egg-shaped when they're born, or if they're just giving a personality to an egg. So definitely look for egg-shaped artifacts with cute little faces on it. And it appears to be maybe something is actually coming out of it, coming out of the top of it. And if you watched my Artemis video, that was one of the things that I spotted. I spotted something. It looked like he was being born from one of the tridactyl eggs, and that was on the CT scans from the-alien-project.com. So we're looking at an egg, which appears to be something coming out of it. And then there's like a scabbard there. I don't know what the scabbard represents, to be honest. I haven't figured that one out. It's just a big cylinder. But to the right of the scabbard is what I believe to be a polywog. I hate to say the F word, and I mean the FETUS word, because for some reason it seems like TikTok does not like me using that word, probably because of political reasons. The last one might be the weirdest of them all, and you have to see it with my color coding. In fact, let me pull up my color coding on my, I don't know if I've shared it yet. Yeah, I couldn't get it to share. Well, I had the old color coding. But you know what happens with this steganography? I actually go back to it and find more things. So let's check our chat, see if anybody has joined us today on our chat section. Yes, here we go. We got Gear Fans saying, "What up, man? I missed a few of your lives. Hope you're doing great. Thank you, thank you. I saw a flag you made. The flag is great. And Mount Rushmore was crazy." Now, Gears says Mount Rushmore is crazy. So, Gears, since you've been hanging around for a while, if you're listening, was it easy for you to see the faces on Mount Rushmore? And we'll see if we can get a response for him. I'll share his thing right now. I got something playing on X that doesn't look appropriate. Get yourselves in. I bet you can get in trouble for that, huh? So we're looking right now. I wanted to show my painted backdrop of the bas relief. All right, so those of you in TikTok land, check this out. Again, I think we have the insectoid on the left. We have the egg in the center with a being born from the top. And then we have the fetus-like creature. And then, I said the word. And then we have the seated god. You can see by this picture why the Maori would compare them to eels. You know, they say that the proper etymological origins of the word seraphim from the Bible, which is the serpent people, well, that's the proper. Seraphim are angels to most of us, but the seraphim are serpent beings, which is why I think the word angels itself in English is probably a mistranslation of the Latin angulos. Ooh, live access removed. So it looks like on TikTok, I received some sort of violation. He did not see the Tridactyls at first glance. Okay, I mean, that's fine. I'm just checking. So let's see here. It looks like TikTok stopped my thing. It won't tell me why. Dangerous activities. Dares, games, tricks, inappropriate dangerous tools. What the fuck? Wow, that just put my stream to a dead end. I stopped talking. So I was on X, I was on TikTok, and they took away my live midstream. And it says it'll return tomorrow because I was engaged in some sort of dangerous activity that was getting people to dare or do something retarded. It's funny. It was right after I said the word fetus. Ha! I didn't even mean to say it. Shit! Oh my God. What the hell? What's wrong with TikTok and the word fetus, for God's sake? I'll have to find another clinical term. Okay, so I can just focus on my regular X Facebook crowd, which reminds me, let's go check Facebook and see if it is playing okay and if I need to share it. And I'm not seeing it. Is this an old window? There's a lot I still don't understand about technology, I have to say. Okay, we are up live. Excellent. So then I could share this around a little bit in my groups. Wow, why did I get a violation? I feel insane right now. Gear, what else is up, man? I'm a little shook. They shook me. I've been so excited about going live that I don't know what the hell just happened right now. Very strange. Well, we can go back to our other thing. I'd like to hear people's comments on the does this show an evolution, a metamorphosis of the beings? That's what I was getting ready to talk about. Which is the seated god, the eel god of the Maori. Boy, that head looks super eel-like in that drawing. Of course, this is supposed to be a horse in there somewhere. You never know what was damaged, but that's the problem with hybrid images. Things are going to look weird because they're trying to make it look like one thing while it's actually something else. So this makes me think, did humans build this under guidance? Did humans even have the artistic capability to do this? Or is this some sort of hybrid being that's the hybrids are doing this, or the Tridactyls themselves? I'm not sure. So I thought this was a cool picture. I'm always trying to look for like the that silver bullet. I think the silver bullet's still out there, to be honest. And what I mean by that is I think there's going to be a hidden artifact that is going to be even, how can you get more damning than the Pillars of Hathor? But I showed people these things, and we're living in a world where people don't believe nothing. You got AI, CGI, lying politicians, grifters, as they say. So because of that, the lightest, smallest information is just poo-pooed. Oy. What do we got here? So I'm just doing some little sharing so I can help get the word out. And again, it was great. I went full live, and that was it. I'm done. So I just have to make a video, and I don't understand. It again threw me off. So let's go back to looking at Mount Rushmore. Unless anyone has anything to say about these crazy evolutions, showing what I think is the progression of these beings. I'm going to go ahead and open up our Mount Rushmore since it was so popular the other day. Oh, here we go too. And those of you who are wondering, so again, if you squint, you should not only see this metamorphosis happening in the lower left, you might also see some other beings. There is a large head on the right. I guess it might be like almost like the female head, because they do focus a lot on that power couple, the power deities. The alpha and male Tridactyls are typically pictured. So there is a Tridactyl head, a medium size on the left and one on the right. There's another one up top. And of course, the giant one there, which it always makes me think that these are made by the Tridactyls themselves. They seem to be narcissistic egotists because when they go somewhere, they seem to put their faces all over it. So here's modern day Mount Rushmore, and you can still see the head of what I say is the lead Tridactyl. Ka is still on the far left. So that's cool. It might be his horns. Who knows? A lot of this too is still up to interpretation. I think that's part of the trick, right? They just put layers and layers of imagery that it's going to look like it's going to feel like pareidolia, which a lot of people say it is pareidolia. But if you're looking at Mount Rushmore and you're seeing other faces than those four dudes, uh, that's not pareidolia. That is carvings. And I toured all around this virtually, and even stones like this here, this might be one, two, three different tridactyl faces all together. Here's just a random stone that you could find sticking out of the ground. So let's see what else we can do. We were talking about the Mount Rushmore, and I wanted to go ahead and give you the edited version too. So here's just a screenshot of the thing that went viral. So I guess the dots were probably a little too big. I made the dots big for the big face. So that's what the dots are for. The dots are to guide your eyes to the eyes. But again, these are overlaps of beings. So the large face on the left, which people describe as an elephant because of the piece coming off of that foreground, that forehead. That large head, there's multiple heads in there, which we can see on our video. Maybe that's probably the best thing to do. Let's go check out my video. So Mount Rushmore was called the Six Grandfathers. The name is Thunshkasila, which means grandfather, they say. But to me, I think there's a deeper meaning in that. If you break down the phonemes, to me, it's the great water serpent Ka's our maternal grandmother's father's land. It's more along those lines. That's if you break down each of those little phonemes in the word instead of just saying grandfathers. There's a little bit more to it than that. And again, that clue with Ka's name being in there is what the cause of. It's a very popular phoneme, especially in the Southeast. Sometimes it starts a sentence. What is it? It's the word I believe, in the Maori language, ka. So, wow. Here we go. Mount Rushmore. Yeah, so these things are hard to see because of the perspective anamorphosis, which is probably why thousands of people go to Mount Rushmore and they're not looking for giant alien faces. So why would they see them? But I swear there has to be some people that have walked away. Perhaps the workers, someone had to have seen something. And isn't it interesting? One of the biblical groups of characters are called the Watchers, and these whole beings, it's revolved around their eyes. In fact, the art is what the eyes of the style of the eyes is what usually points it out to me that, hey, there's something here. So we're still sharing my screen about different stuff. This is at the same location as the Persian bas relief, the sculptures. And it's funny, again, every time I look at something like this, another sort of layer of a face comes out. And that's, again, why it makes me consider this was not human work. So the scary thing is, I guess you'd call it scary, ontological shock thing is I feel as though that this steganography technique and the squinting, the brilliance technique can be seen in other caves. Even that sort of the coloring they use. So let's take a look up here if you can see it. So maybe even give yourself a little squint. So I shared this because of the big face. And you can see it has a little rabbit nose, perhaps. Or is that a smile to another being somewhere else? But up here in the left, there appears to be an eye. But yet that eye looks like a face. So it's weird things like that makes me say, I don't think this art was made by humans. I think it's so complex and so layered. Same with the other proper cave paintings. there appears to be, again, pixelated art there. Yeah, that needs to be looked at more for sure. All right. So, anybody else out there in Tridactyl land? I don't see. Is there spaces going on? There is. I see there's a spaces going on. There's 67 people. I should probably wrap this up, unless people are coming. Or they're doing both. I don't know. So we're talking about steganography, and I'm going to have to start talking about something called I don't know what it's called, terraforming, I guess. So an interesting thing about Mount Rushmore, if we go to perhaps maybe even the Google Earth version, is that this site, I noticed, just like some of the sites, the Naga sites in Southeast Asia and Cambodia, Bayon Temple, etc., that when you start to pull up to Google Earth, then you start getting hit with pareidolia after pareidolia. So what does that mean? Does it mean I'm suffering from massive pareidolia? Yeah, maybe. But if I can get people to see these things, then it does make me feel better. So cortiform once again. So this is, again, you can say that I'm just pareidoling out on this one piece. I'm using this one piece as an example of perhaps hundreds to thousands of examples on the surface of the earth. So here we have two vaguely heart-shaped things. And as you pull up out a little bit, you'll see that a very much similar tridactyl eye appears, as though someone was trying to recreate that artistic imagery. And I swear, if you pull back even farther, you might even just experience more of this pareidolia. Let's move over to this heart piece over here. Okay, is that too another sort of eye right there? You know, is this other eye, this empty space here? Let's try it again. These are multiple little things here. Let's spin this around because I see a cortiform shape. Let's go to the cortiform shape. Let's zoom in. Do you see anything that could be an eye? Maybe this, maybe that. Is this another cortiform shape? You know, are these crisscrosses that replicate the reptilian skin? If those of you remember, that's a recurring motif, the cross hatching. And once again, this random cortiform shape appears to look like a face. So here's another one. You know, so is it me or is it these locations? Because if this is a location with mucho tridactyls, then why not? Let's zoom in on this wall. Let's see if there's anything here, because they do things redundantly. So I feel like you can see this image over and over again. Okay, zooming in on these three squares, these three rocks, vaguely oval shape here. So I don't know. We can keep doing this. I guarantee. Have fun with it. You do it. You know, I'm planting the seed. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's fun, and maybe it's just a pareidoilic. Let's go, prancing through the clouds together, looking for Snoopy. Maybe that's it. So let's go back. Let's go check out the National Monument, and just for ha-has, because I did snoop around the area, and I was really surprised at some of the stuff I saw. I'm going to have to show you. I'm going to have to show everyone my evidence. I use that term loosely. My evidence that the beings are still with us. Okay, so here is it. Here it is today. Underneath the rubble is all the little heads, but that's okay, because I think, again, the tridactyls were so redundant. You could probably zoom in still and still find pareidolic faces. This, of course, I suggest is Ka himself at the head here, so creating his whole body, creating a serpent. Hey, you never know. North America may have been their home before Southeast Asia. North America may have been their home for hundreds of thousands of years for all we know. Oh, check this out. See, I always find new things. A lot of this depends on where you stand, too. So remember, perspective anamorphosis, your distance and your angle will provide more options. Up here, I see a large, of course, you always look for the cordiform shaped head, guys. I don't think Ka is necessarily always depicted that way because they want to emphasize the cranial ridges. But right here, I see a cordiform ridge here, supraorbital ridge, and I see the obvious plate. So the face plate's another thing to look for. They have a triangular face plate, and so there's usually angular cut lines to represent that. Of course, this could be another one right here. This could be another one right here. It sounds like crazy pareidolia until you go to Bayon Temple, or until you start to look at these stones from up above. Let's go look at the other side of Mount Rushmore. You know, everyone goes by it. They drive by it. Why don't we just go check it out? Oh, it's a shame too. It's because normally on a project, would you leave all that rubble there? I don't know. It just seems like the quintessential American thing to do, man. Let's see. Let's see where we can go. Oh, look at here. I know. I find this fun. Look at that. Looks like a hand and a tridactyl head. Okay. Oh, look at this over here. Same kind of imagery. We've got the eyes, the nose, the mouth. They do the eyes, they do the nose, they do the mouth, they do the cordiform shaped head. So picture a heart with baggy eyes, little cat nose, and a little slice for a mouth. They're narcissistic, egotistical beings, and I used to think we used to get our worst traits from the apes, but maybe we get our worst traits from them. So, and the other question is, how did they terraform this land, or did they decorate it afterwards? I'm leaning towards they terraformed this. So their decorating wasn't even necessarily intrusive because they made it that way. So this is just the random, again, if I'm the only one seeing this, I am super sorry. I know there's a few of you out there that have been seeing things. I've seen people say, oh, I see ET. Okay, well, to me, Mount Rushmore is full of the images. And the only way you can make all these images, I think, is terraforming. So if I just pull up to this random stone wall, you guys should start to see either symmetrical eyes, cordiform shaped faces with eyes, cordiform face with a nose here. If you look at the mountain up here, there's another. I mean, it's just crazy. This piece here. What's going on up here, guys? Does that look like normal rock to you? This piece here. So honestly, I think I need a road trip here. I was thinking of checking out the some of the balancing stones around the world, around the country, but this site just appears to be just full of imagery. I wouldn't even know how to even document this all. I guess you can just do close-up pictures. Right here, this is like a carved eye. So some of it does look like carvings. I don't think you would looks like somebody put some graffiti up there, I guess. Oh, I didn't show you guys yet today. So I think I even found evidence of current beings. Is that possible? I believe I found evidence of the living beings. Wow. I think I've been on Google Earth showing you guys things, but I haven't really been on Google Earth. Oh, wow. I think I probably need to take a break today. I swear I've done like everything wrong. The tech has just been totally against me. So I want to thank everybody for listening today. On that note, I'm going to take a break.